Good evening. It is 7:30. So this is the Charter Township of Kalamazoo, and this is the July 22nd meeting, 2024. And the first thing is Pledge Allegiance. And I ask Trustee Miller to lead us in the pledge, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Trustee Miller. Is there any additions or deletions of the agenda? Whoops, there is, excuse me, before we get to that, we do have one board member that is absent, is on vacation, and that's Trustee Glass. Do I have somebody that want to?
I will move that we excuse Trustee Glass.
Okay, I'll support that. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Against, say nay. Motion carried. Now let's try it down here again. I just went right past roll call here, so. Okay, I got a time limit on this thing, so I'm trying to get through this process as soon as possible, so. I'm just looking at two. Okay, is there any additions or deletions on the agenda, please?
You're welcome.
Seeing none, we'll move right down to public comment. This is your first time for 3 minutes to come to the podium. Give your name and where you live and say something. And I don't see anybody from the audience jumping up. Fire Marshal, do we have anybody on Zoom?
Anybody on Zoom that would like to speak before, you can unmute yourself, and you'll have 2 minutes to talk. Nobody is unmuting or raising their hand.
Thank you, sir. Okay, we're down to the consent agenda. Madam Clerk, could you read the consent agenda for us, please?
Yes. I will move adoption of the consent agenda consisting of the approval of the payment of the bills in the amount of $202,009.51. Additionally, receipt of the check distribution for June of 2024, the check distribution for July 2024, the check register for June 2024, the treasurer's report of April 2024, the treasurer report for May of 2024, the fire report for June of 2024, and the CABA report for June of 2024.
Thank you.
Support.
You got support?
Support.
Okay. Any questions or comments? Don't see. All in favor to accept, say aye.
Aye.
Against, say nay. Motion carried. Thank you very much. There is no public hearing. There is no old business. So we go right down to new business, and that is request to approve a letter of understanding with Robson, I guess it is, LLC. Madam Superintendent, would you like to lead us on that, please?
Absolutely. This is a request for a motion to approve the Raymond Group to come in and do a financial review and recommend strategic internal control plans. This aligns with our auditor's recommendation during our audit report. So we are asking that they come in for 200 hours of work and assist us with those recommendations.
Thank you. Any questions or Trustee Miller?
So this would not be an ongoing relationship necessarily. This is to complete a review and make recommendations. And do we have any time frame on that, of when we expect that to? Will the board get at least an overview of the recommendations?
Absolutely. I will provide recommendations. We're hoping that they get started in August, and within a couple of months that they bring back those recommendations and have done all the review.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Do I hear a motion? Trustee Moody, you got a question?
Well, I guess, no, I was gonna make a motion, but I think maybe the treasurer was going to do that. So, go ahead.
Thank you.
Okay.
Sure. Well, I move to approve a letter of understanding with Raymond Robson LLC to conduct financial review and internal control services.
Thank you.
Support.
Motion made and supported. Any questions or comments now? Okay, we'll do it. Go ahead.
Sorry, I wanted to make a comment. Thank you. I appreciate this because in the agreement, all the things that we're looking into, a few of them I have spoke frequently of making sure that our numbers are in order, we have the correct amounts going out to our department heads, helping with bank reconciliations, which I very much appreciate, and just making sure that everything is in line the way it's supposed to be, because we have been without a full-time finance for over a year. So I appreciate this. Thank you so much, Superintendent Moored.
Okay, any other questions? Trustee Ludi?
Well, I also like the idea, following up on our audit, because there were much praise, but there were specific points, and this is a way that we can follow up and address that. I guess maybe a side question I have for Superintendent, or if, when we had an auditor present to us, we didn't have the audit available online at that point. It wasn't part of the board packet. And I forgot to check, is it available online, our website now, or is there a link
I
to
do
that?
not believe on our website it's out there, it's available on the state's website. But
Okay.
that's something that we can certainly put under our finance department.
Yeah, thank you.
I'll make sure that that is done.
Thank you. Yeah, I forgot, we do have, all local governments have it on the state site. So if anybody wants to see those audit recommendations, they are publicly available, so that's good.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay, we'll do a roll call vote, as long as we're spending money, and we'll start off with Trustee Ludi,
Aye.
Trustee Miller,
Aye.
Trustee Robinson,
Aye.
Clerk Mackey,
Aye.
Treasurer Miller,
Aye.
and I'm aye. Thank you. Okay, folks, we'll move on to the next one here. And the next one here is a request to approve the adoption of the Kalamazoo Township Support Emergency Operation Plan. And I'm gonna ask my superintendent again if she wants to give us a head on this, and I can add on to it at the end of it.
This is our operations plan that we need to have on file with emergency management at Kalamazoo County. From what I understand, this has been in the works now for quite some time, and we've wrapped that up within the last couple of weeks and brought that before so we can have that on file.
That's correct, and this is countywide, and one of the reasons why we have this is so if we have to go after money for some source, as long as we have this together, this will help us get to that point. So, any questions?
Just a comment, that was a lot of pages, and it was a lot of boilerplate. I hope that we didn't have, nobody here at the township had to write all of that, but it was more of a fill-in-the-blank sort of thing. I kind of scratch my head and wonder if we were in the middle of an emergency, finding the right passage within that 100 pages or so is going to be quite a chore. But I'm just kind of teasing. It's a lot.
Yes, it is. It is something that's probably well overdue. I'm going to say that at that point. I mean, sometimes we're trying to play catch up on some of the things that we probably should have done before. So thank you. Any other questions? Do I hear a motion? Go ahead, sir.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the Kalamazoo, Charter Township of Kalamazoo Support Operations Plan to be placed on file with the Kalamazoo County Emergency Operations and Kalamazoo Township.
Okay. Do I hear support?
Support.
Okay, support. Okay, any questions or comments?
Well,
Trustee Lodi, go ahead.
I know our police and fire have emergency response plans, and we talked it with the climate, when we had active discussions on the board with the climate, what's the proper word now? Climate disaster, not climate warming.
Well,
Yeah.
it's the climate action plan. But
Yeah.
we had a,
Yeah.
yeah.
I was trying to use a new word because climate change is not the politically correct word, not the right word anymore. But, we talked about how all those those are things those are planning documents that we have local. So it's good to see how we're tying in with and partnering with the county and tightening that string, the last connection we needed to do.
Thank you. Okay, anybody else? Go, Trustee.
I just point out that with the supporting information for this, Item, it does say that this document must be adopted and on file to receive available reimbursement funds should an emergency occur for Kalamazoo Township. So I really appreciate that we're all getting this taken care of.
Thank you, thank you. Anybody else? Okay, we'll do a roll call vote on this again, and we'll start with Treasurer Miller.
Aye.
Clerk Mackey.
Aye.
Trustee Robinson.
Aye.
Trustee Miller.
Aye.
Trustee Ludi.
Aye.
And I'm aye. Thank you, folks. All right, the next one here is a first right of refusal for two parcels. Parcel 40 Winks, 40 Winks lot and house. Total cost is $144,000. Treasurer Miller, you want to lead us on that?
Sure. So, after March 1, the properties that are unpaid for go into foreclosure. After 3 years, the county treasurer actually comes in and has already made the township whole for all 3 years that the properties have been delinquent. At that point, the county treasurer sets up the properties, sends out the notifications to the townships. When we received notification from our county treasurer, Thomas Whitener, we had 44 parcels that were about to be foreclosed upon. He works with the individuals who want to hang on to their homes as diligently as he can. It ended up being just 7 homes homes and vacant parcels that went into foreclosure. So these 2 parcels were one of the 7 that ended up being foreclosed upon. With the amount of money that the county treasurer has invested, as well as Kalamazoo Township, because we actually paid for demolition of the 40 Winks motel. With the required amount, the county treasurer is asking for $144,000 for both parcels. Today, I'm asking for the board to approve that. I would take any questions, but
Treasurer Miller, when we had it demolished, wasn't that cost to us either $60,000 or $80,000? I can't remember which one it was. It was one, I want to say 60, but I'm not sure.
yes, you're correct, Supervisor. It was $60,000.
So that's 60,000, okay.
Yeah, yeah. But
Any other
we,
Go
I
ahead.
was just going to say, we were reimbursed by the county treasurer.
Right.
Because that did go into delinquency.
Okay.
So we received those funds.
We were reimbursed for the cost of demolition,
Correct.
but this is asking for us to pay, and that payment will go to whom exactly?
That will go to the county treasurer.
Okay, so that's, the reimbursement's gone one way, and can you explain that a little further? I know we've gone through this before.
As
but
far as where the money goes after we pay the county treasurer, I'm unclear on your question.
Yes.
That I'm not sure of. There are a lot of individuals and people, if there are liens on the property or anyone has stated they have an ownership in that, I shouldn't say because I'm not sure. I'm just going to go with that. I am not sure what the county treasurer will do with that money.
The attorney had her hand up.
So remember a couple of years ago when we learned about the delinquent tax revolving fund? So the county treasurer pays us out of the delinquent tax revolving fund, so we're made whole as if we never paid that money out, right? But once we pay it to the county, if somebody buys it on tax sale, no matter who it is, the county wants its money back.
Correct. Good. Good point.
But no one is actually purchasing these parcels at this point, correct?
I believe the township is purchasing them.
Yeah.
Once you pay, we'll get a deed from the treasurer.
Oh, okay, well, so,
And that is, I think I put it down wrong, the right of first refusal, and I put it backwards. It says first right of refusal, but it's right of first refusal. So the township has the opportunity first to claim that property.
yes, and we if, by this resolution, we are exercising that right?
Yes.
And my question is then why? What is our purpose in owning this property?
Yes, because we have invested monies into it. We spent on the demolition there and making sure that as we move forward, it is in alignment with the township's vision.
But do we have any specific plans for what we intend, are we intending to try to sell it?
I don't, I'm gonna answer for you. I don't
Sure,
think
go
right- I
ahead.
don't think right now. I think we're just gonna, looking to purchase it, hold on to it, and then take a look about reselling it maybe later if we're not gonna use it. There might be an option that we might use it for something. So, and that's all I can say, because they haven't got that far yet with it, but it's a chance to purchase it. Trustee Liddy.
So I want to make sure, I think I understood the treasurer, saying that the county treasurer made local units of government, like the township, whole on the taxes we are owed, like that, and they're hoping to recoup that, with the sale of property. And, but the township, or the county treasurer did not make us whole in our investment for our demo costs, right? That's still.
That's correct, that's correct.
That's a debit to us, yeah.
That's
They
correct.
did.
Okay.
No,
No,
they did.
we were made
Oh,
whole.
we were made whole of that too?
That $60,000 bill was attached to the summer or the winter tax bill,
Oh,
which was not paid.
okay.
So yes, the county treasurer did make us whole.
Okay, that's interesting. That's the mechanism that allowed us to get reimbursed. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
If you do not exercise your right of first refusal and it goes up for tax sale, it will not include your investment and you will lose it. I think that's possibly what's underlying most of this, because if it goes up for regular tax sale, then all other liens are extinguished, including ours.
Trustee Miller,
I understand that, but it seems to me, and this is not the first time we've ever had anything like this. I recall other instances where we've talked about it, but it seems to me that at those other times, we had more of a discussion, or perhaps more of a statement in the proposal for what we intended to do. So, yes, if we do not exercise this right and pay this money, the money we've already spent on demolition is likely not to be seen again. But then on the other hand, we have to do something with the property to either justify the cost of it or hopefully be able to sell it for as much as the what we're spending on it now, plus, well, the demolition's been, it's just what we're spending on it now, I guess. We would have to sell it for at least that much, and we don't have anything in front of us to say whether we believe that, we have no appraisal, we don't know what we might be able to sell it for. So it seems to me a little bit like throwing good money after bad unless we have a definite plan. And it seems to me, I remember other times that we've done this, we have had some kind of a plan going forward for it. But I could be wrong.
Trustee Liddy.
In the description, Madam Treasurer, you, I think, said that also there was a home, like a residence,
Yes.
in addition to what's already been demolished, the old 40 Winks Hotel, like that. And so that makes me think, a further investment we've made is that, because I've witnessed homeless encampments there occupying at least 3 of the rooms before it was demolished, like that. And so I know our police department has invested a lot of time at that site. And in some ways, I think there might be, an argument could be made that it would be good for the township to own a property that continues to be a scab that won't heal, where we're continuing for years having to do law enforcement oversight of a property. But if we own it, then we can maybe take more control of it for the time period, and like the supervisor said, until we decide that we may just then go sell it because there's no specific plan for it right now, but that we would be in a better position to monitor that scab that won't heal. And, you know, that's just an analogy I think of, because I just don't see it self-correcting unless we just absolutely know a good shepherd is going to buy the property and not cause trouble to our police department or township any longer. This is our opportunity to maybe have a final chapter and close that book.
Yeah, and let me add a little bit to that too. We do own 2 properties up next to Eastwood Fire Station. We own 2 houses that we have rented out for the last 3 years or 4 years, or maybe more.
Yeah.
We have a realtor come in and rents it out for us. We bought those there for future expansion of the Eastwood Station when they did it. So we bought this, we would have a place to redo the station and tear those down. So we bought those but we still had to rent it out. And this property here's got a house, if we wanted to, we probably could rent it out too. But I do know there are a couple of businesses around that would, like, maybe to buy that property. But I'd rather buy it from us than buy it from the tax sale, and we lose that. So I would rather be able to get something out of it, so. And then if we do want to use it for future expansion, we can. We're not gonna lose money on it, I can tell you that right now. Not with the house there. I just looked at my granddaughter, the house that she just bought, that she paid $160,000 for. It has 1/3 of that property and about half that house, so. Cost of housing today, so. Anybody else?
I guess I'll just say that I wish we had more of a concrete written plan for this. I hear what you just said, and it makes sense to me, Ms. Supervisor. So I'll go ahead and vote for it, but I wish that we could have a little bit more of a statement.
Okay, thank you. Trustee Lewis?
And one detail too, I would say kind of is for future, you know, we can go ahead and vote tonight, but for a future consideration would be the state of that house. Is it even potentially rentable? Is it occupied now? Is it rentable? Does the township want to be a landlord? I would say I don't really like that. We do that in 2 spots for near Eastwood Fire Station, but that's for potential expansion of the fire station. You know, that with a specific plan, just to not have a plan, just to be a renter, you know, that may not be something the township is so interested in. But those are just questions we could follow up with and try to answer.
Thank you. Anybody else?
I just wanted to say, whatever we do with that property, the board will be involved in the future of that property, whether we sell it, whether we put something on it. That is not going to be one person determining. As I said, I want it to be the vision of what the township sees. And that area right there is going to become very desired. So especially with the 131 business loop going through. I also want to say that we have several properties that the township owns. I'm not sure why. We look at the parcels with the homes on them or vacant lots, and I'm not sure why the township purchased those for right of first refusal whenever. But I do see vision in these 2 parcels. There's actually a 3rd parcel that is a very small piece on Barney, and they actually pay the taxes on that. It's $30 a year. So that little parcel they still own. But
Thank you. Okay, do I have a motion?
I'd like to make a motion for the board's approval to pay Kalamazoo County Treasurer $144,000 as right of first refusal on foreclosed parcel 3906-09-130-050. That parcel for $123,000. The second parcel number 3906-09-130-060 for a cost of $21,600 for a total of $144,000.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Support.
Okay. Motion made and seconded. Do I have any more comments? Okay, we'll do a roll call vote. We'll start off with Trustee Ludi.
Aye.
Trustee Miller.
Aye.
Trustee Robinson,
Aye.
Clerk Mackey,
Aye.
Treasurer Miller,
Aye.
and I'm aye. Thank you. I'm just gonna get caught up in my writing here. Okay. That is that. We go down here now. There was nothing removed, so we'll go down to board member reports. And we'll start off with Trustee Looney.
Thank you. I want to welcome our Superintendent Tracie Moored to the team formally at this meeting. So it's very nice to see our team more filled out. And also want to give an update that Brian and Newhoff, the township engineer, last Wednesday had a pre-construction meeting with Next Gen. Our sidewalk contractor is going to be implementing the 2024 sidewalk improvements. And Next Gen plans to start demolition of some of the deficient sections of sidewalk slabs in Eastwood. So you may be seeing trucks and cones and other activity in Eastwood, and when they're done preparing that, they will move to Westwood and Northwood and start working on the demolition for the preparation of making forms for ADA ramps, particularly where sidewalks end before they actually reach the street. And so then you'll see those forms that go in, and then in the week, weather permitting, the week of August 12th, then they'll begin pouring concrete in all those locations. So there'll be, for a while, there'll be kind of forms under construction with safety taping and cones, but that's, people have questions in your neighborhood, you can let them know that they're working on improvements. Then also, last Wednesday, the Westwood Neighborhood Association met, and some of the things I just wanted to highlight that occurred was that Sergeant Derek Thompson from our community police sergeant shared information about community policing with the Neighborhood Association, and Craig Sherwood gave information about a tree canopy project that's being worked on, and we also talked about the flower garden at the triangular area of West Main and Nichols, where last couple of years my wife and I have been weeding that out because we just couldn't take the weeds anymore, and when you do it, then there's these beautiful flowers underneath that weeds and for people to enjoy, but that were already planted. I learned through a donation by a resident who developed that for the township and the Westwood neighborhood. But then there was kind of for a few years there was a mix-up in communications. But I think with the neighborhood association, it's back on track with a crew of volunteers that are slated to continue the weeding that my wife and I started, and so it's going to be under good management or maintenance. So I'm glad we talked about that at the neighborhood meeting, because there's just a kind of a lack of information. Somebody brings up the point, and then together we solve the problem, got us back on track. Also, this week I finished online training. It was about 12 hours of training for Michigan Economic Development Corporation's redevelopment ready communities training. So that was a stipulation that MEDC wanted a township board member, with me being a planning commission member. Then I took that upon, so we're satisfying MEDC's requirement, and then our planning staff is taking it much further. But I did my little part, and I understand the process a lot better, so that was a really benefit. That's all I had to report.
Thank you. Trustee Miller, please.
Trustee Ludi mentioned at the Westwood neighborhood meeting, Craig Sherwood spoke, and he was speaking about an event that's coming up that I'd like to publicize. We have had so much construction, so many places around our area in general, and that includes the Westwood Water Project that the city of Kalamazoo is undertaking, and digging up a lot of streets and actually taking out a bunch of very mature and stately trees that have graced our neighborhood for hundreds of years in some cases. So what we have, this is not an official township committee. It's kind of a subcommittee of the climate committee, but in that we have 3 members who are involved in that. And we would like to share some information about trees, planting trees, what species are probably the best, other considerations of placement of trees, and we have some people who, including Craig, have some degree of expertise in these matters. So we decided to go ahead and, again, it's not an official township event, but it does involve 2 trustees and another person. This is called Community Canopy Restoration, it's just a name we came up with. Our mission is to rebuild our neighborhood's natural beauty through restoring our canopy of native trees, fostering a culture of environmental stewardship, and enhancing climate resilience. This is being started by several dedicated community members, united by our love of the environment and desire to cultivate a more resilient and native landscape in our neighborhoods. So we have taken this flyer and distributed it, and I thought I would announce it. The initial meeting, which is just kind of a meeting for whoever decides to show up, is on Sunday, July 28th, this coming Sunday, from 3 to 5 p.m., and it will be at Craig Sherwood's home, which he has some lovely native plantings at his place, 538 Wealthy Street. I can assure anyone that this is not a political event, and there will be no campaign speeches. Even though we do have some candidates involved, that's not this. We will not, we'll keep things like that very separate. Thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you. Trustee Robinson.
I have no board member comments tonight.
Thank you. Clerk Mackey.
Hi. First, I'd like to say thanks to Trustee Ludi for attending that training so that none of us would have had to do that. I'm sure it was very informational, and we appreciate it. And then I'd like to just talk briefly about the elections that are coming up. And the primary election, early voting will be starting this Saturday. Early voting is managed through the Kalamazoo County's clerk's office, and voters will have 9 consecutive days of early voting, beginning this Saturday and ending the Sunday before Election Day. There will be 4 early voting sites throughout Kalamazoo County, all of which can accommodate voters from any participating jurisdiction, including Kalamazoo Township. Each site is open from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. daily, and those sites are WMU's Fetzer Center at 2251 Business Court, Kalamazoo, the Douglas Community Center at 1000 West Patterson Street in Kalamazoo, the Kalamazoo County Expo Center at 29 Lake Street of Kalamazoo, and the Portage Parks and Recs building at 320 Library Lane, Portage. And then, of course, you may vote on Election Day at your assigned precinct, and polls are open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. And, of course, we are accepting absentee ballots here in our office as well. If you have any questions and you need help finding your precinct, drop boxes, any questions about whether you're registered, you can go to the Michigan Voter Information Center at michigan.gov/vote. And you can also contact the Clerk's Department here at Kalamazoo Township. Thank you.
Thank you. Treasurer Miller.
Thank you. I just want to let people know that there will be no Kalamazoo Area Transportation Study meeting this month. They usually cancel it in July, so look for next month's meeting. Brownfield meeting comes up this Thursday at 3 p.m., 207 West Kalamazoo Ave in the county building. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'm the last one here, talking about roads and construction and stuff like that. Mark had brought this up there about some of the stuff here, some of the roads. I continuously check the roads that we're doing right now. They are putting water lines in the houses. Pinehurst Boulevard was a good example. That still isn't done yet. One of the things that they were going to do originally was they wanted to pull all the trees out of the boulevard and go that way. And that I helped stop that process right away. And so, but we're still not done with that street there. We've got a lot of other streets in the Westwood area that's tore up. I'm trying to make sure that we can get police, fire, and people can get back to their houses. So daily, I do that tour down through there. So sometimes it's, Brian Newhoff is the engineering firm in charge of that. We have had meetings with them, Scott Taylor's group, who is the one that's doing it, and also James Baker from the city of Kalamazoo. So we continue to have meetings on that to try to get this done. Let me add one other thing here too, is the H Avenue and Drake Road process, the roundabout. The roundabout is done. We're waiting on consumers to finish their stuff before they open it. So it looks like it might be mid-August now before it's open. I think people are gonna be very surprised. It looks very nice. I think it's gonna really help move traffic. And I can tell you that street is shut down, because now you know what you've got on West Main coming down Nichols Road, and what went down Drake Road is coming down Nichols Road. And at 4 or 5 o'clock, you can't get down the hill from Grand Prairie to Ravine. So I can't wait to get some of this construction stuff done. So that's all I have, and we'll move down to the attorney's report.
We do not have a report for you tonight.
Thank you. How about superintendent's report?
Thank you, Supervisor. Week 3 starts this week for me. I just want to say that everyone has been very welcoming, from residents to employees, this board, our partners. As I promised at our last meeting, we are moving things forward as quickly as we can. We have posted and interviewed 2 long-term positions that have been open, and we're hoping to make offers on those still this week. We have started our employee professional development training. That has gone very well. We have moved forward on some of our capital projects and got those back to operations. I've reached out to some of our partners, township partners, and set up meetings to make sure that we're on the same page. And just as a public thank you, I wanted to thank State Representative Julie Rogers and Senator Sean McCann for advocating on our behalf for funds that we are receiving for the Eastwood Fire Station in the next state budget.
Thank you. Okay, now is the second time for public comment. You have 3 minutes. You come to the podium, give your name and where you live, and seeing nobody getting up. Fire Marshal, you will have anybody on Zoom.
Anybody on Zoom who would like to speak to the township board, this will be your final opportunity. If you'd like, unmute yourself, and you'll have 3 minutes. Nobody is unmuted.
Thank you. This concludes our township board meeting here. We are going to go in closed session, then we will come back into open session if we have anything brought back. Trustee Ludi, do you want to read our
Yes,
thing to go in closed session?
I move that the township board enter into closed session in accordance with MCL 15.268, subsection 1D.
Thank you. Okay. We are adjourned.
Get a second?
Oh,
I will
second.
second the motion.
Thank you.
Okay.
We need a vote.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Who was
Opposed,
the
say nay.
Who was the second?
We're still adjourned. Thank you.